Our next speaker is Ferrin. Thank you very much. Can everyone hear me? Does anyone not want to hear me? That's right, Mike. I asked, I'm going to stand out here so people can maybe see a little better. When I was invited here, I wanted to know if there was going to be, like, for sitting a speaker's corner, and they said yes, and mine's way in the back, right over there. I'd like to ask my wife to stand. She asked me not to do this, so don't tell anybody I did this. This is my wife, Patty. I mention that because when I take her along with me, people think I'm bringing my daughter. This is my first wife, current wife. I knew when I was growing up that I would one day want a trophy wife, so I married my second wife first. You know, I believe first of all we have candidates with a great message, but I believe that the delivery of the message can be just as important as the content of the message. One of the greatest communicators, certainly in my lifetime, which hasn't been as long as it looks, was Ronald Reagan. He had the ability to walk into a group, talk, and when he left, people would say, you know, I want to be a conservative. Today, you know, that talent has a radio show. And yes, I'm including the radio personalities that are here. You know, you need to get up your hand on the mic and start running for something. But it's important to communicate. Cornerstone of my campaign is communicating. You know, the Democrats cannot beat us in the arena of ideas. That's why they very quickly have to go personal. They will say, well, you don't like the president's policies, so you're racist. You don't like the laws that are being enacted, it's because he's black. They can't beat us in ideas, but they out-strategize us. One thing they do is get people who can deliver message, excite the crowd, and get people walking away saying, you know, that's a good message. I like them. Even though you may not like the message entirely, you like the messenger. Communication is a cornerstone of my campaign. I've got the message which will be delivered, but it's important to have communication. I do it in a way, and if you've seen my website, you understand. If you've not seen my website, go to ronferrinforcongress.org. You see what I mean. I have several videos up there with me communicating the message the way I believe it needs to be communicated. I'm going to talk about communication in a minute, and if you could let me know when I'm down to 20 minutes, appreciate it. I'm out here, so throw something, but not too heavy or hard. Communication is key, and I've got something that is, if I don't get to my whole communication spiel, I want to read part of the end first. These are actually reading glasses, but I worn down on the end of the nose. I look as old as Mike with that, so I just wear them like this. Everybody's blurry and fuzzy. You all look like liberals. But, okay. Here's a public, in the interest of communicating, here's a public service announcement. Way to tell if your friend is a liberal or a conservative. And on my website, I talk about the difference between liberalism, conservatism, socialism, capitalism. Go take a look in 1 minute with the help of my 2 daughters who are available. In 1 minute, talk about what capitalism is all about. But ways to know, I'm going to do half now, half in the end if I still have time, which I won't. Ways to know if you're a liberal or conservative. If you think Silent Night meant your partner didn't snore last night, you're probably a liberal. If you think God is the acronym for guaranteed overnight delivery, you're probably liberal. If you think the 10th Amendment is a fifth of God served twice, you're probably liberal. If you voted for something before you voted against it, you're probably liberal. If you think patriotism is spelled R-A-C-I-S-T, you're probably liberal. You know, like a lot of people, this is my first turn at running for something. Hopefully it's my first time at running for something successfully. When a conservative runs for office and has no experience, it's called not qualified. When a liberal runs for office and has no experience, it's called change we can believe in. I believe, now wait a minute, this is actually about my time. I believe that as we're looking at this, essentially what its candidates are doing, we're doing a beauty contest. Fortunately, it's not a real beauty contest, otherwise only a few would win. But it is also this is a chance for all of us to relook at the candidates and see who they are, what they believe in, how they will govern. I think that a representative for this campaign must do 4 things. They must legislate, they must consecrate, they must innovate, and they must communicate. And if anyone wants to pass an offering after that one, you can. All right, first of all, legislation. Now, believe me, the government right now is doing a great job of legislating. They're passing all kinds of rules. I'm not going to take time reiterating foul regulations that have been passed, but I think regulations are like lies. You know how when you're little, you're told, don't tell a lie because you tell one lie, you have to tell 2 more to cover it up. And then you got to tell 2 more to cover those up, and then 2 more to cover those up. Pretty soon, you don't know the difference between lies and the truth. Every time they pass a regulation to try to control us, they have to pass 2 more regulations to clarify what they just passed, and they have to pass 4 more to clarify what they just regulated. I believe I'm here really not to be a leader. One thing that Ferrin was told at the meetings I was at was, "You work for us. You work for us." How many believe that the congressman or woman works for you? The other half of you, I hope, are just asleep. I'm not running for the House of Leaders. I'm running for the House of Representatives. I'm going to represent you. I've been asked several times, do you think once this is all passed and all bills are being passed, the health care, the cap and trade, can we repeal them? I believe that as it hits people's pocketbooks, just like health care, there will be an outcry to repeal those laws in the next year. And that's why first thing I'm going to do is sponsor or co-sponsor a bill called the Deathbed Recovery Act of 2011. And by the way, Joe Thomas came up with the word deathbed. What kind of time do I have? 2 minutes. Second, we must consecrate. I believe that this is our roadmap. U.S. Constitution. We must do that with consecration. Third, we must innovate. The ability to run Congress, the ability to run our interact with our lives without government intervention. I want to ask every one of you to look at educationpartners.biz. It's not a plan, it's a program. This program, which I created, we're using it now in Campbell County. We're going to be rolling out statewide starting January. It will allow us to eliminate the funding problems in our schools without a dime of the government. Without government interference, without government action, we can actually take the money that is currently spent on supplies, put it in teachers' pockets, without the government's help or intervention. That's just one of the examples. I have more to talk about. We'll talk about them later. Howard Dean was in France. It's on the internet, talking a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, talking about how thrilled he was that socialism finally has hold in America. Yes, our young people are being bombarded with a successful message. 1 minute. Successful message is, listen, the way to be Americans, the way to help everyone out is let's take the people who have achieved, and we're going to take tax them extra to give benefits to people who can't afford it. It sounds a whole lot like from everyone their ability to everyone their need. That is the actual planning of this government. If you look at the programs they're doing, whether it's cap and trade, whether it's health care, it is from everyone their ability to everyone their need. That concept was written by Karl Marx. We must be able to communicate the message. Our young people must know that that is not the successful way to win an election. That is not the successful way to run government. We must be able to communicate the conservative message, the capitalist message. And time's up. Thank you very much.